Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3503. Today's date is 26th of July 2025. It's been almost like a night at 8:57 p.m. Okay. By the way, from last night, there's a lot of rain is actually happened. I'm living in India. Okay, I'm actually living in Wardha, Maharashtra. Okay, and have you understand the concept of Niño? Okay, El Nino. Okay, let me explain. Okay, so I'm not really sure, but what I wanted to tell you. Okay, yeah. El Nino is a kind of like a something a concept where kind of like a something that ki dude, what the fuck are you talking? Okay, like, just record your artifact now. Like, why are you kind of like telling such a stuff that you probably have very less information about it? Like, not like, yeah, I have very less information. I'm just trying to tell you is this thing that ki 5 year there is very less rain is actually happen in India, and after the 5 year there is a more rain is actually happen in India, and this is actually happen is because of the El Nino. Okay, yeah. El Nino is a kind of like a something the weather pattern and things like that, where the Pacific things and something came out to the Indian Ocean, and it just, I don't know, yeah, it's a okay. So basically, like, I did experience is this thing that in COVID, like COVID actually happened in 2020. That time there is so much rain is actually happened. Okay, too much rain. Okay, but after the COVID, the rain was very negligible, nothing really at all. Means 21, 22, 23, 24, nothing will happen. Then 25 means this year, there is a huge rain is actually happening. Extreme rain. Okay. So, yeah, like basically as I am kind of like somebody experience this thing that ki from the last year, this year is kind of like somebody pouring so much amount of rain. Yeah. And this is the kind of like some reason that I'm recording this artifact episode too early. Why too early? Like, you usually record artifact at night na, after you ate dinner. Yeah, but I haven't really ate dinner. Okay, like basically since entire day is actually kind of like a rain and things like that, I'm kind of like really worried that ki after I ate my dinner might not gonna record artifact because rain and things like that. And by the way, artifact episode is a kind of like a something closely associated with the rain. Like, closely associated means like that ki I usually record artifact when I was at the kind of like a walking or rooftop and things like that. And when the rain is actually happening, then how do I supposed to record the artifact? Okay, so basically when the rain is actually happened, is actually inverse proportional to the artifact episode. Okay, so yeah, so that's why like I decided that I should supposed to be record artifact in the morning, but since the morning there is a kind of like a rain and things like that, I couldn't able to do that thing. Whatever. So should we jump directly on question? All right, yeah, let's go. Let's jump right into it. All right, yeah. Question is, when you don't achieve your target, do you feel stress? Okay, that is a really good question. Okay, first of all, what exactly is this question? These are kind of like a somebody question are self-assessment question. Okay, yeah. It's a kind of like a somebody self-analyze question. Like basically, I'm kind of like asking this question so that I analyze myself that key, yeah. So straight to the point, if I didn't really achieve my goals or target, do you feel stress? Yes, I do feel stress. Usually, okay, let me explain. I have decided that ki, like I'm doing YouTube, by the way. Okay, yeah. I usually make a content regarding about graphic designing, Photoshop, photography. These are kind of like a genre. I'm creating content regarding about that. Okay, yeah. Also, I decided that I should supposed to be upload every single day. Okay, yeah. Do not have any kind of like gaps and things like that. So I am actually uploading my content every single day from last year. By the way, like if I'm gonna say this thing, I'm doing YouTube since 2021, and I change multiple genre in YouTube content creation. Like first I started as a travel filmmaker, then gaming. Then after the gaming, I realized that this Photoshop photography is a kind of like a things that I could create a content in this thing, and since then I'm kind of like create this content. So basically since 2024, means May 2024, I'm kind of like uploading content every single day. I haven't really take any one day off. Like every day I'm actually uploading my content. Today I also upload my content too. Okay, so this is kind of like simply the goal I set, that every day I should supposed to be upload my content. Is there something really happened that you haven't really uploaded the content and things like that? No, it didn't really happen. Okay, yeah, I make sure that it didn't really happen. Okay, yeah, like basically I create a content in advance. Okay, yeah, like basically if I create the content, then content should supposed to be uploaded after 3 days. After kind of like a 3 days it went publicly, because in between 3 days there are multiple content are line up. Okay, yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is this thing ki I haven't really take any kind of like a day off in content creation process. But there is a one thing that I'm gonna tell you. Okay, yeah, when I create the content, I feel something really stress. What do you mean by that? Okay, yeah, so I have some sort of idea and I wanted to create particular design. Okay, yeah, when I execute the design, it didn't really kind of like a something match my expectation that I want. Okay, yeah, and I am trying so efforts, so everything to try to do kind of like a simply a kind of like a match with my expectation, things like that, but it didn't. Okay, yeah, and when it did not really match with my expectation, it felt really stressful. It felt something like, it's not really stressful, it felt like failure. Yeah, and this is what kind of like something happened. Like a couple of days ago, I was kind of like creating a particular design. Okay, yeah, and I create the design, but it doesn't really fill up that expectation. Okay, yeah, so I was kind of like thinking, how do I supposed to make it kind of like improve the design and stuff like that. I spent almost like a 4-5 hour in that particular design and things, but it didn't really work out. And in the end, after the 5 hours of effort, I just scrapped that thing. I just let it go and move to the another design. Okay, yeah, so basically what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, when I put the effort of making the design and it didn't really work out, it felt really stressful. Because of that, why stressful? Because the 5 hour of this thing is kind of like a wasted na. Like basically I decided that I should supposed to be upload every single day content. So that means I have to make 2 content per day. Like usually I create 2 content per day. Okay, yeah, and if I make 1 content which is kind of like a went to failure, then this is something really fucked up, because in that day I just execute only 1 content. So this is something really felt little bit of stressful. Okay, yeah, so yeah, like do I feel really stressful when I didn't really achieve my goals? Yes, I do feel little bit of stressful when I didn't really achieve my goals and things like that. But there is a couple of things that I'm gonna tell you. Okay, yeah, I feel really stressful when goal are kind of like a complete control on myself. What do you mean by that? Okay, yeah, so basically is this thing ki every day I set up a goal that I should supposed to be make content, 2 piece of content every single day. Okay, this is a kind of like a goal that I achieve. Okay, yeah, now in YouTube content creation, okay, yeah, YouTube progress is actually kind of like determined by the how many subscribers that you have or how many views that you have. Okay, so as I mentioned that I'm actually uploading content since 2024, May 2024, regarding about Photoshop and graphic designing every single day, and right now I have 1500 subscribers. Okay, usually get 300-400 views and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, so what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, that if I'm gonna say that achieving 5000 subscriber till the end of this year, this is kind of like some goal that I achieve. Like basically this is thing what actually happened now, last year in 2024 I decided that till the end of 2024 I'm gonna achieve at least 5000 subscriber, but I didn't really achieve that. Yeah, I still have kind of like a 1500 subscriber. I haven't really achieved 5000 subscriber. I didn't really achieve that. Okay, yeah, I feel little bit of stressful and things like that. But then I realized that ki why I'm feeling stressful, because of that ki how much views do I get, how much kind of like a something views and things, or how much subscriber that I get. I can't control that thing. Yeah, like basically this thing, I the only thing that I could control, make my content is as good as possible as I can, as engaging as everything. Yeah, but after everything I put the effort, still I didn't really achieve that subscriber, then that's it, fine. Okay, just focus on, make this day as productive as you can, make your product or make your content as good as possible as you can. That's it. This is the only thing that I could control. How much subscriber do I get or how much views I get, I can't control that thing. Okay, yeah. So possibly I kind of like somebody decided that ki last year I decided that ki how many subscriber do I want to achieve in this year or this year. This is not my goal. No, this is not my goal. Okay, like basically this year na, I haven't really think that I should supposed to be a, like I don't really have any kind of like a simply goal that till the end of 2025 I will gonna have kind of like a 5,000 subscriber or things, something like that. No, I don't really have that goal. No, I'm just, one thing that I'm doing is that keep making content every single day and making content as good as possible as you can. That's it. Okay, this is the only thing that I could control. How many views do I get, how many kind of like a something subscriber do I get, I can't control. So this is not my goal. Okay, so this is what I am kind of like a thinking. Okay, so regarding about how many subscriber is this thing that ki I don't really control this thing, so this is not my goal. So if this is not really not my goal, then probably I'm not really that much stressful. Important thing is that ki make sure your content is good as things like that. It doesn't mean like that ki like basically I'm just kind of creating content, I'm just not looking at the kind of like some trending and all those kind of like possible thing to make your content as good as viral as it can. Like dude, listen. Okay, yeah, like basically is this thing na ki the viral thing and kind of like some instant growth, I'm not believing that. Okay, yeah, I don't really consider that ki like a one day I wake up and I will have millions of subscriber. No. And like if I get it, that is okay, but like I don't really want that to kind of like a get some sort of growth in within a kind of like a day and things like that. No, I want my growth kind of like a something consistent and kind of like a something that ki progressive. It's not kind of like a something that ki one day I get kind of like a 200 views and another day I'll get almost like a 2 million views. I don't want that. I don't want that. Yeah, this is nothing really at all. And this actually happened when your content went viral. And basically is not. Okay, yeah, like basically I'm thinking that ki whatever the growth that I get, a progressive growth. Okay, yeah, like basically today I get 20 views, then 50, then 100, then 120, then yeah. But basically this kind of like growth that I'm kind of like consistent growth. Not kind of like somebody get million views and then suddenly drop. No, I don't want that. Because in Instagram same thing happened. Okay, like basically when this at the beginning of the year, exactly beginning of the year, like a 1st of January 2025, my Instagram growth is became really viral. There is a one content became really viral. It went 5 million views. Okay, 5 million views, and then another content went up to 3 million views. People are commenting and things and something like that. After like a basically the January month is a kind of like something really amazing that within this month, like within this week, early week in this year, like a first week in this year, I gain almost like a 10,000 follower on Instagram platform. And then after that it started dropping. And right now I'm getting kind of like a really consistent growth. Like right now I'm kind of like getting almost like a 3,000 to 4,000 to 7,000 to 8,000 views on Instagram platform. And I just want that. Like basically I just want kind of like a progressive growth. Instagram is kind of like something giving you viral, but I don't know, yeah, dude. It's kind of like a thing that it's a very different game. Oh yeah. But what I'm trying to tell you is this thing, how I feel little bit of stressful when I didn't really achieve my goal. Yes. But it is only applicable when I control that goal and things like that. When I control every possibility of that goal, and when I didn't really achieve that, I feel really stressful. But if such a kind of like a goal that I can't really control, then probably it's not my goal. Then it's probably not my stressful and things like that. But how would you supposed to say this thing? It's not really that na ki probably you just Okay, yeah, you can't control everything, na, dude. Okay, you can't control. There are multiple things that you can't control. So probably is this thing, like, let's just imagine that ki you are running a business. Okay, yeah. Like you want to run a business. Yes, I want to run a business. Okay, yeah. So basically, you will put all the effort and things like that to make sure that you are running a business as good as possible as you can. All right, yeah. Then basically there are multiple things na, see ki business progress, like the profit of the business is actually determined by the how much customer that you have, or how much people that are kind of like getting that service and they feel really good, right? Yeah. So it's kind of like only up to them, up to the customer na, like your profit or your progress is actually determined by the customer, and they feel really good and things like that. But this is what I'm trying to tell you na, this is what I'm trying, like basically is this thing that in the business point of perspective, I can control the every aspects of everything na, like basically business and people and everything. I'm gonna make sure that the people who are actually using my using my application, they're gonna get some sort of values, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. So basically is this thing now, my main goal, my main purpose is that to kind of like simply make sure that the customer get kind of like simply a value from my services. And if I do that thing, yeah, so basically in the business point of perspective, yes, it's kind of like a profit is actually determined by the how much customer do I get. But it is really essential na, ki basically I'm gonna make sure that ki the customer get kind of like a very very kind of like a good service, something somehow. Okay, yeah. So I don't know, dude. Okay, yeah. But the question is that do I feel really stressful regarding about when you didn't really achieve my goal? Yeah, it is true. Okay, yeah. Sad. Do you feel really sad when you didn't really achieve your goal? Sad. Yeah. Yes, I would say that. Yes, sad. Insecure. What's the insecure? Insecure means like that ki kind of like something that ki vulnerable, or kind of like a things that ki you might gonna kind of like somebody cripple or fragile or things like that. Like insecure, like basically you just scared of things, like something like that. Do you feel that thing? Insecure? No, probably not. Okay, yeah. Why? Okay, yeah. First of all, there is couple of things. I consider that ki progress is not meant to be kind of like always go up or always kind of like something. Yeah. Like basically, if I'm gonna kind of like something progress means like that it went up and it went down too. Okay, yeah. Failure is a part of the process, and it's actually in the like it's part of the process. It's not like you can't exclude the failure. No, nothing at all. It is a part of the process. Okay, yeah. So basically, is this thing, if I didn't really achieve my goal, yes, I do feel a little bit of kind of like something sad. I do feel a little bit of kind of like something that ki, what is the word? Stress. But I don't really feel that ki insecure. What is actually insecure? Insecure means like that ki you accepting the failure, and when you accept the failure, you are kind of like feel very insecure or vulnerable, or kind of like let me explain what is actually insecure from my point of perspective. I don't know, I am not kind of like somebody explaining this thing properly, but let me explain. Okay, yeah. What is actually insecure means for me? Okay, yeah. This is kind of like something the things that I experience. Okay, yeah. I'm kind of like my point of perspective. Okay, yes. Okay. So basically, what has actually happened that he, yeah, in 2020, okay, yeah, COVID happened. March 17th of March 2020, COVID is actually happened, and because of the COVID happened, my entire office is shut down. Okay, yeah, we have kind of like a simply say a guideline that ki the all the kind of like a gathering is prohibited, and basically everyone should supposed to be go home and things like that. Okay, yeah, the entire work is actually happened through the remote. Okay, yeah. So 17th of March 2020, I came home from my Nagpur to my hometown. Okay, yeah. And when I came home, that time COVID doesn't feel like kind of like a simply pandemic. I feel like that it's a kind of like a simply holiday that I'm getting. Okay, yeah. And I don't really understand the gravity of the pandemic or gravity of this thing. I don't really get it, because it's just kind of like a 21-day lockdown. So basically I thought that it's a 21-day holiday for me. Okay, so I feel really enjoy and stuff like that. So when I came home, I kind of like somebody download the Netflix. Okay, yeah. and watch most of the shows. Okay, yeah. Then after the 21 days, the lockdown extended. Then basically office gonna say that ki we are actually kind of like simply giving the remote work. And yeah, sir, definitely sure. So we are starting doing remote work. Like remote work means like that ki entire work is actually happen through internet and things like that. So I'm kind of like doing it that. But because of the remote work, we are not kind of like putting the effort that we are meant to be. Okay, sorry. Where was I? Alright, yeah. I was actually talking about the COVID. Yeah. So in the COVID, okay, 17th of March 2020, I came home. Okay. At that time, lockdown was kind of like a considered as a holiday. Like I was kind of like considered it's a holiday. It's a kind of like a simply that key, like I came home. So yeah. Okay. So then lockdown extended. Okay, yeah. After 21 days to kind of like simply for a month and things like that. So our companies actually started doing remote work. Okay, yeah. But because of the remote work, we can't do the work the way that we should supposed to be do. Okay, yeah. Because most of the kind of like assembly work is kind of like depend on design. Okay, yeah. Like we are using very heavy software like Autodesk and AutoCAD and Inventor and things like that. Okay, yeah. For that heavy software does really require a kind of like assembly heavy system. Okay, yeah, with a graphics card and things like that. Because of the remote work, they don't really provide the laptop. They just provide nothing really at all. Okay, yeah, like they provide a couple of laptop for a couple of people. Okay, yeah, but it's just like they can't provide laptop for like they don't really have like most of the kind of like work in the office and things like that. They have kind of like a very bigger system over there, and we work on that. Okay, but they don't really provide the laptop and things like that. Okay, so I was one of them that I didn't really get the kind of laptop and things like that. Couple of people get some sort of laptop so that they were started doing working and things like that. Okay, now so basically it's this thing that the people who don't really get the laptop, okay, yeah, they are kind of like essentially moved to training program. Okay, yeah, means like that they would kind of like do the training and things like that. So like me, there are kind of like a couple of people who are kind of like doing the training program. What's a training program? A training program means like that a company is kind of like assembly when there is no work for employee, companies kind of like a move to the employee to the training so that they would kind of like improve their performance and things like that. So yeah, so we are kind of like doing the training. Okay, yeah. By the way, in this particular period of time there is a COVID. So basically the company mentioned that because of the COVID we can't really produce that much kind of like assembly the work and things like that, so your salary would be half. Okay, yeah. And say yeah, everyone like basically everyone got the salary half. So probably yeah, okay, that's it, fine. Okay, yeah. Now May 2020, okay, yeah, like basically I get the full salary in March. Okay, yeah, I get the half salary in April. In May 2020 there is a thing happened. The chairman of the company kind of like came to the meeting and he says that because of this lockdown and things like that we can't really do any kind of like assembly work. Okay, yeah. So basically is this thing we have to give the gap. Okay, what's a gap? A gap means like that as a company we're not gonna give you any kind of like salary to you, but you are not fired. No, you are not fired. When the company will started, okay, yeah, we will gonna call you and you will gonna join again. Okay, yeah. We are not really sure when this started because the COVID and lockdown and things like that, but after 6 months it will gonna start and you will gonna join again. And they said yeah, okay. So this is what actually happened. So like when this happened, when that meeting end, it kind of like feel really bad. Okay, I feel really bad at that time. I does feel really vulnerable at that time because this Zoom meeting happened, and basically all the effort that I put for the job and things like that, like basically I was actually working for that company for 2.5 years. Okay, before that I was kind of like working for kind of like understanding the kind of like a designing courses. It will took me 6 months, and then after that a year I was kind of like doing a job in like basically I put a lot of effort for this job and things like that. And within it just a Zoom meeting call, they just say that we have to give the gap and things like that. And when this thing happened, I feel really, really vulnerable. It just like that. It felt like that I just back in 2014-16 maybe. Yeah, because I was at the home. Okay, yeah. I just lost my job and I don't really have any stuff to do. Yeah, at that time I was kind of like doing the kind of like filmmaking and stuff like that. But at that time I was never at that time I was never really think that it would be kind of like something that but it's just like that na, I have a job na. So basically I thought that let's continue this job and things like that. But when when this thing happened, like you will not gonna get the salary in the next month and you don't really have any kind of like a work or things like that. By the way, training program is also kind of like a terminate. Okay, yeah, that you should also do any kind of like a stuff. Means like that during this gap you can do by your own. If you wanted to kind of like somebody want to get another job, you can get that thing and we will gonna kind of like do the resignation and things like that. So yeah, so I just feel like that, dude. So at that moment I feel really I feel really insecure, vulnerable, or kind of like a fragile. Okay, because like just get it now, like I'm put a lot of effort for get this job and things like that, and since I just lost this job I just, yeah. So so basically is this thing that this is kind of like a somebody insecure. Oh yeah, at that time this is kind of like a somebody word that might kind of like a somebody resonate with that situation, because this is kind of like a somebody things that I feel that this is situation that feel something really insecure. Like at that time I did feel like failure, I did feel like fragile, I did feel like just broken apart. Okay, yeah. But I didn't really feel this thing with kind of like a something the when I kind of like a when I kind of like a something the not achieve my goal and target and things like that. Okay, yeah. Or it might be, but it just, okay, yeah. Let me explain. Okay, yeah. You actually mentioned that when you lost your job you feel really insecure, right? Yeah. Imagine in the future you are kind of like doing a business, or you are doing a content creation, let's just say YouTube. Okay, right now you are doing YouTube. Okay, yeah. In the future you will get the millions of subscribers, right? That is good. Okay, yeah. Because of some sort of reason there is a controversy happen. Okay, yeah. There is a lot of controversy. YouTube is kind of like filled with a lot of controversy. There is a controversy happen, and when the controversy happen you actually lose your follower. Okay, you lose your kind of like a subscriber and things and something like that. Will you feel really insecure, or will you feel really, when you like will you feel kind of like insecure at that moment? Well, that is a really good thing, but good question. But probably is this thing I might, but not, it's very different thing. Okay, yeah. Like basically I don't know, dude. I think I might gonna feel little bit of insecure at that moment. Okay, yeah, because that is kind of like somebody is this thing, like you are putting a lot of effort, like you are kind of like a lot of effort for this content creation for almost like a 5 year and things like that, and because of sudden controversy you lost millions of subscribers and things like that. Yeah, it's a kind of like very fucked up thing, dude. Okay, and it does feel a little bit of something really that insecure. So I might gonna feel a little bit of insecure at that moment. So yeah. And now another thing is that do you feel negative? Negative means like that kind of like a something that not feel really good and things like that, or something really wrong. I should say yes. Yeah. Like basically if I didn't really achieve my goal or target, I definitely gonna feel stress, I definitely gonna feel sad, I definitely gonna feel insecure, and definitely gonna feel something really negative and things like that. So yeah. Not like negative, not probably negative. Negative means like that when you are accepting the failure. Okay, yeah. And I don't really think that I would kind of like accept the failure, because in my entire period of lifetime I failed so much time, dude, so many time. And basically the career that I chose is kind of like a filled with a failure and things like that. Important thing is that you just stood up and kind of like somebody do your stuff, and that's it. So being negative means like that accepting the failure, and probably I am not that kind of like a person. Like basically yes, I might gonna lose so many things, I might gonna kind of like somebody very fucked up shit happen with me, but probably I'm not gonna accept the failure. Yeah, I might gonna kind of like a somebody. Yeah, I don't know. There is a one thing for sure that ki I might not gonna accept the failure. Nah, nothing like that. I don't know, dude. It's a kind of like a somebody the. Okay, what exactly is this thing? Are you kind of like somebody some sort of superhero that you are kind of like something say this like you will not gonna accept the failure and things like that? No. Okay, let me explain. Okay, is that key? No, I am not any kind of like something superhero and things like that. And there is some sort of situation happened that I feel really vulnerable. I might feel really insecure. I might feel kind of like a something fragile or things like that. There is a lot of fucked up shit will gonna happen, and that is definitely gonna happen. Yeah, accepting the failure means like that ki you are give up. Okay, yeah. And regarding about in my entire period of lifetime, I feel so many time in so many ways in just look at now, I'm 31, almost 32. Okay, yeah. I'm recording this shit. Okay, I'm not earning any money. I'm living with my parents. Just kind of like somebody understand the gravity from my point of perspective that how much I make, how much I kind of like somebody fail. Okay, so I fail so many times in so many levels, in so many ways and things like that. And after all those things, I still have kind of like some hope that I could do something really better in my life. So yeah, I don't know how do I supposed to do that. I don't know, but kind of like the life that I chose, and in this particular life, failure is a part of the process. And yeah, I accept this thing, dude. Yeah, I might gonna fail, but I will not gonna accept the failure. I'm gonna wake up and do my things. Probably. Okay, like I don't know. I just like basically it sounds so kind of like somebody very heroic kind of like somebody word, but it's not. Okay, because I like this is the only thing that I could do. Just do my stuff. That's it. Okay, if I accept the failure, that means I don't really have any reason to live. I don't really have just like the why the fuck you are living. Okay, so that is what it is. So regarding about this question, if you don't really achieve the target, do you feel stress? Yes. Do you feel sad? Yes. Do you feel insecure? I might, but yeah. Do you feel negative? Negative means like that accept the failure and things like that. No, nothing like that. Okay, yeah, probably. But the meaning of negative might be very different over here. Negative means like that ki negative thoughts and things like that. Like probably there is a lot of meaning for that. Okay, but these are kind of like a self-assessment question is really good. Like basically just kind of like somebody letting me express so many stuff. Okay, yeah. By the way, I'm gonna record again. This question is really kind of like a really good. Alright, this is it. This end, and thank you.